G'day guys, welcome to Rumble's Fish Room. So today I want to talk about a linked filter system. So what I'm talking about is you've got 30 tanks running on a 1,000 litre sump, or even 3 tanks with a sump underneath. So among all this sickness, I've lost thousands of dollars worth of fish. I'm going to be straight with you. I've lost over 10 male flower horns, which I sell for 400 to 600 each. I lost a ray, but I think I might have lost the ray because of the medication. I dosed the tank hard, but my giant gouramis okay. That's my main concern. The ray was worth a lot more than the giant gourami, but the giant gourami is my pet. As for why the medication didn't work on the flower horns, I cannot answer that. I've even spoke to my friend who I mentioned yesterday about who has had white spot with flower horns before and used the exact same main ingredient, and they've always had success treating. The only thing I can think of is, you guys know how I had Friday night off. I didn't post. Friday night I didn't even actually come into the fish room. Very negligent of me. So basically what happened was, I'm guessing Thursday they had visible signs of white spot, but I didn't spot it. Then I think maybe Friday it was visible to the point where it looked bad, and then it wouldn't. And then I didn't spot it until Saturday lunchtime. So I'm guessing I just caught it too late, but honestly, it's only the second or third time I've had white spot. So I'm a novice when it comes to sickness, and I think my automatic water change system has a lot to do with that. My fish rarely get sick, so that's one of my things I always try to tell friends that are building a fish room is go auto water changes, because it just takes all the stress away from the fish. But anyway, so we can look at that as a positive. I'm a novice in sickness because I haven't had it. That's cool. I've been keeping fish for 8 years and I've only had white spot twice before this. So, and one of the times I had white spot was like the first month I got fish. So, and believe it or not, the 2 other times I've had white spot, the fish came from the same shop. And I don't buy from that shop anymore. But anyway, that's not the point. Alright, so my flower horn tank funnels down into my pond. All my fry tanks funnel into the pond. That is the only link system. And the reason for my logic behind that is my fry tanks only have my fry. So my fry should be disease free because my room is relatively disease free. Obviously white spot is a bit of a thing that can lay dormant in fish, and obviously something set it off. I thought the flower horns would be alright plumbed into the pond. I might not run that anymore. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I might take the flower horn tank out of the system. But can you guys imagine, because I did consider it at one stage. Can you imagine if my tanks were linked? So say, we'll use this rack as an example. That's 12 tanks, 12 colonies of Africans. If I had those tanks on like a 1,000 litre sump behind the rack, there's a chance that that whole system, that 12 colonies of fish could die. And if not die, thin them out dramatically and then not have many breeders. That would break me. And I actually know somebody who had a fish room with 50 tanks in it and a 3,000 litre filter, and he had a disease go through his room and it wiped out 70 to 80% of his stock, and to this day he never set the fish room back up fully. It actually just ruined the hobby for him. He does still have a few tanks, but nothing like he had. So when I say to people, don't link tanks with a sump, this is why. I'm semi kicking myself that those tanks are even plumbed into the pond, but I kind of have to reduce my water usage because the fry tanks get 20% water change a day. If I add the pond onto it, the pond doesn't get fresh water. It only gets the fry tank water because the nitrates are so low. So if I disconnect all the fry tanks from the pond, I've pretty much got to put about 200 or 300 litres a day extra into my water change system just to water change the ray pond. I'm talking about the ray pond here, guys, not the koi pond. I know I should call it something different because people get confused. But anyway, so 300 litres a day would put my yearly budget way over. If anybody doesn't know, the water is in tiers, our water usage, and I cracked the 3rd tier right at the 11th month of the year. So I actually budget my water yearly. So I'm going to keep it the way it is with the fry tanks. I don't know what to do with that flower horn tank, honestly. I don't know whether to bleach it or not and just bleach what's left in there. At the minute there's 1, 2, 3. There's pretty much 4 flower horns in there. I've pulled all the ones as they've died off. I've been pulling them out of the baskets in the pond and putting them in this tank because at this stage the only thing with white spot in the pond is them flower horns. The Oscars don't have it, the gourami doesn't have it, the rays never got it, but I don't know if somebody could drop a comment. I'm guessing the rays might have still had the disease but don't show it because they don't have scales. My new clown loaches get it and they don't have scales. But anyway, so at this point, my ray pup's okay, luckily. It's doing well. And that African's colouring up for some reason. So, sorry, the microphone's backwards. We didn't actually lose any of these Africans here. There was actually blue-eyed cichlid, whatever they're called, in that basket with the Africans, and all the blue eyes died. They're one of the first fish to die, and that's when I knew some. Well, actually, I can't remember. I think the bluefish dying and me spotting the flower horns with white spot was at the same time. I really don't get it, guys. I knew white spot was fatal. I didn't think it was this fatal to wipe out a tank that quickly. A couple of people commented saying seed the filter. So I did last night. I didn't do it on camera, but basically I seeded it with sponges from tanks I was confident are healthy. But I'm only 90% confident. I can never be 100%. I pretty much chose like my oldest colonies. But I had to do like 80% water changes to get the medication out of the water to seed the filter, because there's no point in seeding it while the medication's in the water and just going to kill the fresh bacteria you're putting in. So I'm probably still going to seed it more. The pond's looking really clear at the moment, so there's no ammonia bloom in there today. I've got to go up and see Ryan about the test kit. I might even go tomorrow. We'll see. Sorry, it's a bit of a talking video, guys. It's something I really want to get off my chest. I'm quite passionate about not linking tanks, and this has just concreted that, and I want to use this evidence to portray it to you guys, because I see so many people with linked sumps, and yeah, it makes me cringe. But anyway, I think we might be at the end of the fish deaths. I just don't know whether to bleach the flower horn tank and just cull the last 2 or 3 that are in there, because at this stage, I'm so scared of it spreading to other tanks. I've got like hoses and nets on the ground. I'm literally not putting nets in any other tanks. I'm actually going to bleach every net, even the ones that haven't been in those tanks. I'm even scared just like if that water splashes. Like last night I was trying, when I was doing the water change in that, I was trying so hard not to splash water. But anyway, basically that's my point behind that. I'm not going to dribble on anymore. You'll probably hear me talk about this one day in the future, but for now I'm just going to leave it at that. But I want to talk about, I'd do a bit of an insurance job update. So we'll go have a look at the patio. Alright guys, for those of you who don't know, if you're new to the channel, I had a fire at my house. I've had a few trades through and I really haven't been happy with the job they've been doing. But we've had a win. One of the trades that's come through has done an awesome job. Like, I actually think I'm just real happy with it. So let's have a look. Alright, so I'm not sure when I spoke about this last time, but basically I wasn't happy with the decking. The carpenter came back and redid it and like ripped some boards up and extended them out. So I found the original quote. The original quote says replace 82 linear meters of decking. This is only about 40. So 82 linear meters would have been like, see, like they've cut this board here. This board was actually meant to be replaced all the way to here. And basically what that would have done is it would have got rid of all those join lines, which you can see there. It's not a big deal, but because I'm in the trade, it's the first thing I look at. So the painter came and his color matched it. And basically I gave him the exact stain that I used on that, the amount of coats it had, and it's pretty much the exact same color. It'll lose that sheen, so it'll blend in well. I actually had to go at them for having raised screws as well, and they've taken the mickey a bit. Some of the screws they've absolutely buried. That annoys me. I've honestly considered getting them back a third time and getting them to redo it the way that the quote is, because when I spoke to him the second time, I didn't actually have the quote, so I couldn't reference how many meters were meant to be replaced. But so there's 40 square meters here, linear meters here. The guy has quoted 82 linear meters. So this stuff's like $8 a linear meter. So he's made a huge profit by not doing that. So just putting aside the fact that this isn't right, I'm actually just majorly annoyed that he's squared off that much extra profit by doing a dodgy job. That board looks way different. Anyway, so enough negativity about that guy. Really wasn't impressed. The cleaner, I wasn't impressed because he broke my Wi-Fi, which I'm not impressed with the electrician because this still hasn't been replaced. And some of the security in my shed won't actually work without that on. So I'm a little bit stressed about the shed not having its security system running. But I'm actually going to message him. Hopefully I can get him here to, I don't know, hopefully tomorrow even, because that's only a plug-in part. There's no reason he can't be here tomorrow to replace it. But anyway, so what else was I saying? So now let's talk about the positives. The painter. You guys aren't really going to be able to see it on camera, but the painter has done an amazing job. He's cut in all the beams. He hasn't even touched the sheets with the paintbrush. I don't know how he's done it. Like, I guess it's his career. He's painted all the gutters, and like you can't even, the paint's up in there. Like, nothing is overlapping. None of the paint touches the other paint. The eave, he's painted all the way through. There was a crack here in my eave, and he's actually gap filled it. Like he's painted all the way down to that corner, and I don't care about the side. But obviously, like, he didn't even have to paint to there. Like, the fire damage was only the smoke. Well, I guess he had to paint this. It was pretty far, but and like he's painted the what's that capping called? It's brown, but he asked me what color I wanted it painted, so he actually gave me the option to change the color. But I was at work and I just couldn't think about it. So he's painted it brown again. I just can't think of what color I would have wanted it painted, so I just said paint it the original color. And the gutter, that gutter's only like 5 years old, but it's just come up ripper. That's not really saying, is it? Come up ripper. But anyway, I just needed a win, guys. The color on the decking matches. That was the painter, guys, not the chippy. In the chippy's defense, he's done a wicked job on the roof. It looks better than it did before. The patio looks heaps better. So I think letting this slide is not too bad, considering I actually changed the color of the roof too. So now I'm annoyed as well. So the roof was actually the clear sheets, and I said, can he put zinc up with just clear windows? So the zinc sheets are way cheaper, so he actually turned more of a profit on the roof sheets and the decking. So it looks better, but he's won double. That guy's just killed it. He doesn't have to work for the rest of the year. Alright, did you make it to the end of that long-winded conversation? So if you made it this far into the video, drop a comment on a project you would like to see me do, because you guys deserve a reward for getting this far into the video. I haven't really got to naming the flower horns yet. I've still got screenshots of the comments. I did read them all, by the way, guys. The only one I've named is Richard, which is Dick, which is Big Cock. I thought that was a classic one. But anyway, so we've got Richard. I really want to name one of the girls. Obviously, well, the flower horns dying hasn't affected me naming my flower horns, but I think it means I'm going to sell a couple more out of the 5 foot, because there's 2 fish in there that I was borderline keeping or selling. There's 2 in there that I definitely won't sell, but I think I'm going to have to move a couple of them, because the ones that died were all 8 centimeters, so they're only 1 to 2 centimeters off selling. But anyway, if anyone is interested in flower horn, the one that I put on Gumtree for 600, I'll happily sell it to a subscriber for 500. And then if you are interested, I actually have another one which I'll sell for 400. But I can fully understand if you don't want to buy a fish off me at the moment while there is white spot in my room. I fully get that. I know it's hard because I want to sell fish, but I've got white spot. But anyway, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe for more, hit that little red button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.